that just yesterday you launched fresh accusations against President William Ruto, alleging that he's orchestrating a plan to remove Chief Justice Martha Koome from office. Can you substantiate these claims? The claims that the purge in the Supreme Court, in the judiciary, is politically motivated.
Yes, it is. I was Deputy President and Principal Assistant to President William Ruto, and I'm privy to many things. I also have a responsibility as a leader in this country to let the people of Kenya know what is happening. President William Ruto schemed a long time ago to remove Justice Martha Koome as Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court because of refusing to be compromised.
And he shared this with you?
He shared with me, and many times he even quoted me that a daughter from the mountain is being problematic and accused me of being unable to manage Martha Koome to do things the way the president wants. And I told him it's not possible. I had many discussions with Martha Koome, and she's a stricter to the rule of law and constitutionalism. She's a very respectable judge, very qualified, and she got that job through merit. And I was against it. And I think the matter was put on hold until I was hounded out of office. And the matter now has been put in top gear, not just to remove Martha Koome as a Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, but to remove the entire bench of the Supreme Court. And I must tell the people of Kenya that we must be very careful, because the president warns and pronounced himself before me many times that as president he needs to manage the electoral cycle from the IBC all the way to the Supreme Court. And many times he indicated his desire to have the entire bench replaced so that he can put in place a bench that will do what he wants. And that is very dangerous for the country, because if he puts a bench that he wants to manage the conflict, if any, after the elections, the people of Kenya will not accept it. And what is happening is very simple. The president has the numbers in the Judicial Service Commission. So any proceedings against Justice Martha Koome and the 7 judges and the other 6 judges will just be a kangaroo court. It will just be like what happened to me in the Senate and the National Assembly. It will be predetermined. The president will thereafter set up a tribunal himself, and he will determine the outcome. So what we are looking at, I'm not just defending Justice Martha Koome. It's the entire bench of the Supreme Court. These are judges of impeccable credentials. These are judges with proven track record. These are judges who have made monumental decisions in accordance with the rule of law and the Constitution for the benefit of the Republic. And if the president has his way, bulldozes through the Judicial Service Commission, where he has the numbers, these judges will not get any justice. It will be a kangaroo type of thing. And then they'll give a recommendation to the president to set up a tribunal to try them. And the outcome is predetermined. So I need to ask the international community to keep a very close eye on this country, because if the president succeeds in putting his bench at the Supreme Court, he will have completed the state capture. Already as we speak, he has captured Parliament, both Senate and the National Assembly. He has captured the opposition. The only remaining line of defense for the people of Kenya is the judiciary. So if he succeeds as he has planned, it means that the president has really captured the entire country, all the arms of government, and he'll do whatever he wants. And that level of impunity is dangerous for our democracy, our constitutionalism and the rule of law. And we must speak out, and it should not be allowed to happen.
Okay, allow me to interject, because not too long ago, and some people may call you bluff for this, you were critical of the judiciary, which you so speak highly of currently, questioning its independence, whether there are overtures from the executive and whatnot. So why should Kenyans believe that this is...
I've never had a blanket condemnation of the judiciary. I have spoken about individual cases, which is normal, and that is why when the Constitution allows appeals mechanism, so that if you are dissatisfied with a decision by the High Court, you can go to the Court of Appeal. If you are dissatisfied, you can go to the Supreme Court, because judges are human beings. They cannot be perfect 100%.
Okay.
But you cannot remove the entire bench of the Supreme Court. And you see, what will happen is that the president will manage the appointment of the new judges through the JJC, because they are the ones who will interview and recommend for appointment. So what will happen is that if this is allowed to happen, one, is very dangerous for the country.
Okay.
You cannot have a vacuum where there is no Supreme Court, where an entire bench has been sent home as we process the tribunal mechanism. Again, the danger is there, because he has pronounced himself, and I have told you, he did in my presence, that we must have a Supreme Court that we control. In fact, he told me, once you are president, it is very irresponsible for you to lose an election.
Okay.
You must control the election from IBC all the way to the Supreme Court. And the president is determined, and I know him.
And this was a private conversation.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But I must tell the people of Kenya, because in fact, initially I thought it was a joke. I never imagined that any president anywhere in the world would ever want to disband an entire bench of the Supreme Court. I mean, it would cause, one, a vacuum that is unacceptable, a constitutional crisis, that a country can stay without a Supreme Court for a certain time.
Okay.
And it's a very dangerous thing, and we must not allow it to happen.
Then tell me this, Bwana Rigiji, if I can call you that, allow me to